So this is the situation that I end up in. I had brought in, I bought in parsley in a container from my apartment. I brought in oregano from my apartment. And I brought in basil that you can see it's empty. I went to the store and I bought pomegranate juice, very expensive. I'm going to get it off the floor and show it to you. It's a little unsafe for me to do. Here's the pomegranate juice that I bought. Back a month ago when they were letting me go out, and they were preventing me from going out. And I was going to my apartment every day. And at my apartment, I could get the beef and meat that I eat that's healthy, and I could either cook it there and eat it or bring it here frozen and cook it in the microwave. And I was able to try to eat parts of my diet that it's not just what I want to eat, and actually some of it I don't want to eat, but it's my religion. Now, if I were Jewish, they would give me my religious food. If I was Muslim, they'd give me a religious food. But I'm not any of those things. I'm not a Catholic. But they're Catholics, and they're Jews, and they're Muslims, and they have a religion, and in their religion, medicine is more important than healthy food. And in my religion, healthy food is more important than a medicine. And I can show it to you. I will get it out. Well, our church has its bylaws and its foundation documents, and they explain what we do and what we believe. So they can tell us that this is what every one of you who want to be healthy should be doing. And if you are eating whole wheat bread because you think that's healthier than non-whole wheat bread, you're being fooled. Because whole wheat bread has phytic acid in it, and so does regular bread. You can't remove the phytic acid from wheat. And if you're eating corn's a poison. If you're eating tomatoes and potatoes and eggplants and peppers, and you have no idea there might be something in there that's actually harming you, that's foolish. Now, I used up all the basil I had, and I can't go get any more, and the parsley, because basil, if I put a whole handful of basil on this meat, a whole handful, it makes, and parsley, I'm eating the salt. There's some potassium in those things, not a lot. If I drink about 20 ounces of this pomegranate juice a day and spread it out a little trouble with that is there's a lot of sugar in it. But it's healthier sugar than other sugar, but there's also loads of antioxidants. I know how to eat healthy, and these people don't know how to eat healthy. I didn't used to know how to eat healthy because I ate the way they did, because I was a fool, because when I learned when I was a child the right way to eat from my grandparents, and when I learned from the second thing I studied when I studied how to eat good was this Price diet, and I thought it was crazy because they said things that just didn't make any sense. There wasn't an internet then like there is now, not exactly. So, but I taught everything the way you hear it in the public and in the media, and they must be very stupid people. The media must be so stupid. They don't understand that you have to have 2 units of sodium and 47 units of potassium, which is in every one of their biology books, and all they got to do is know that and make our food that way, and it can be made that way, but it's not made that way. So here I am. I want to eat my healthy food, but they won't give it to me. They won't give me enough salad for me to be satisfied that I won't want to eat anything else. That would be fine if I also have some potassium. I want to keep my minerals balanced from food. And you can't get them from the American food, because it isn't in them. It is they don't know what they're doing. You don't know what you're doing. I don't know what I'm doing. It's SAD, S-A-D, Standard American Diet. Do you buy ground beef? Do you go to McDonald's and buy a hamburger? And then answer this question. How many children die every year from poison that can't be cured that they get from eating a McDonald's hamburger? Can you tell me? Right off the grill, hot and ready to eat. There is a number, and you know what? It's against the law for them. They can't do anything. The law, the federal law, the FDA, and all these other agencies allow so many children to die every year eating McDonald's hamburgers or some kind of hamburger because of the way they choose to produce that and give it to us, and that's a bad way. You buy a pound of ground beef in the store, and it could have come from 18 or 30 cows. You have no idea what cow it came from. They don't know. And certainly some of the cows that they harvest have a meat in them that will kill anyone who would eat it. And the disease that will grow in them, you can't cure it. The only way not to have it is not to eat that meat. And the way not to do that is to do what I do and buy my meat from Australia. It's cheaper than the American meat when it's on sale. So I buy the filet mignon of Nature's Reserve, and I get all the fat in it with it, and I grind it up in my own grinder, and I make hamburgers, and I eat them, and you never tasted a hamburger like that. I don't have a lot of money. I don't have any money. I'm poor. But if anyone who wanted to improve their wealth could begin to make and sell hamburgers from that meat, the way I make them, and make a bun with teff flour that has been the phytic acid has been removed. There's another way to do it, and the way they're doing it isn't the best way. The way they're running this nursing home is not the best way. This nursing home is not in compliance with the federal law for how a nursing home should be. Not any nursing home is in the New York area, except maybe the one in New Rochelle, and maybe there's one in Riverdale, I don't know. But it's completely different. And I understand what the rules are, what it should be. I also know it's not happening that way. And I also know that there's no incentive to make it happen that way. And that's harming you and me and everyone. And we have to do something. And I'll take these people to court. And I'll fail because I don't have a lawyer. And if I do get a lawyer, the lawyer's mixed in with all this nonsense. If there was one good lawyer in the United States, anywhere, we wouldn't have this food the way it is. Why would you, or you take them into court and you show the biology book, you bring in 20 experts, you bring in 20 doctors and they don't know, but you let them read from the textbook. And then you say, well, if it's dangerous to have 40 grams of sodium and little, if any, potassium, then why do you feed that food to people that way? And if in order for them to be healthy, they need to have the other balance, why don't you make the food that way? Well, they won't have an answer, because there is no answer. And on the other hand, if it's good to eat a whole bowl full of lettuce every day, salad, different mixed types of colors and shapes and sizes of it, then why are you feeding them beef that's been fed corn that's poisonous? And then putting a lot of salt in it. And I can't put any more parsley in this to try to balance, to get a little bit of potassium. So what am I going to do? Sit here and wash all this food off and eat the meat, which the meat's not any good because it's not from a green grass-fed animal. It's from a corn-fed animal, and it's bad. And then the food that's mixed in there, and then the other. So here I am, a poor slob, and I either have to not eat anything, and they put this food in front of me, and it smells good, and it's desirous to eat, and I like to eat just like you do. Wrong, and then be sick. But I would prefer to follow my religion and obey my God and do what's right, but I can't do it. And when I try to do it here, they make so much trouble for me. They make me as if I'm a bad guy, instead of making this place patient-centric, meeting my needs and helping me get better. They're killing me. And I'm not exaggerating. This meat has poison in it. This oatmeal has poison in it. It's called phytic acid. The poison in this meat is the corn and the salt. The corn-fed meat is poisonous. Here's this raisin bran, but that's made from wheat. So it has raisins in it. I got to pick the raisins out and eat them. They have a lot of minerals in them, but then they have sugar attached to them, and I don't eat sugar. I use this Truvia, which is a stevia, which is very sweet, but there's no sugar in it. If I want to not die from heart disease, I have to do a lot of exercising, and I have to get my diet the way it should be according to that sheet. And I need to have no stress. And every day, all day long, all they do over the food, because they won't give me the food I want, they won't listen to me, they won't even hear what I have to say, so they can say to the judge, well, we didn't know about it, so we're not guilty. But the whole system is so crooked against you as an individual, and us as individuals, especially those of us who are poor, especially those of us who hardly know how to speak for ourselves. This needs to be changed. And the way we're going to do that is to listen to poor for Trump, and we start doing it ourselves, and we'll fix it. We can fix the problems in Mexico with immigration by letting the Mexicans grow our eggs, and healthy, in the right way, and there'll be so much work in Mexico for Mexicans that none of them will want to come here. The ones who are here will go back because they'll be able to make less money, but enough more money so they can live well. Here, these poor people that are coming in, immigrants, if they're not drug addicts, if they're not making money crookedly, they're having to go around and hide and cheat and work for half price here so they can send the money home to Mexico. So the solution is very simple. Look at that sheet and listen to it and employ all those things. Mob grazing, mob herding, and the whole of the equatorial area of the world will put everybody to work, and they won't have time to be terrorists. They're terrorists because they have no work and they have no way to make money, and they have a lot of money from our oil, and they pay that to the terrorists to do something, so they'll get it's all crazy. It's all insane. It's all stupid. Well, the ideas on this sheet, if we employ them and use them and get serious about them, we can have a democracy where we pick who's in the offices of our country, city, local, state, and governments. And then we can buy things that are good and refuse to buy things that are bad. Then the stores can close down that want to sell what they're selling to us today. And we can open our own stores and sell real healthy food. It tastes just as good. It tastes better. And there's so many other answers. I don't use salt. I use lemon juice because I understand what salt is and how it works and why it works. And lemon juice accomplishes the same thing. A little tiny bit of lemon juice will do the same thing salt will do. Except if you're every time you use salt, you need to use more and more and more and more because your taste buds become numb from the salt. So you don't taste things, you need more salt. And every one of you that uses salt, that happens. But if you take rid of the salt and use lemon juice, for a while you'll have a problem because you're missing the salt. But if you put lemon juice every day in place of salt, and everything that you put salt in, you will have a healthy food. You will be getting vitamin C. It's an acid. Salt is an acid that stimulates the taste buds, but it also deadens them. Lemon juice is an acid that stimulates the taste buds, but it doesn't deaden them. It's healthy. So what is this? When are we going to wake up and straighten out? And Mr. Trump is not a bad guy. He's trying to do what he thinks is right. And he might be right and it might be wrong, but doing what he thinks is right, and he doesn't mind saying it. And if he's wrong, he'll say, well, all right. But how stupid can you be to criticize Mr. Trump? How stupid. And then say he's crazy and the people that put him in were crazy. Half the people in this country voted for him. Are they all crazy? No, some of them are like me. They know what's going on and they realize that the government's the problem. And this business about guns. The reason we need guns in the United States is so we have them in the hands of the people, so that when people like the dictators, the dictatorial, progressive Democrats, want to take over our lives and tell us how to eat and what to do and feed us this poison, that we can get guns and make an army and go get rid of those dictators. That's why we need guns. I don't need guns to protect myself against a criminal. I need a gun. I don't use a gun. We don't believe in using guns. But the people, need guns, and they need semi-automatic guns, and they need tanks. Because the crooked dictatorial liberals will use the government to tell you what you have to do and force it upon you. Like the Obama health care. You have to use their system. You can't use another one. And the Republicans aren't much better. But at least they tend to want to go towards letting people choose what they want to do. That's freedom. And no, yes, we need health care for everyone, but everyone should pay for their own health care. not the system we have now, where all this nonsense is going on. And if you saw how this nursing home runs and how the hospital runs, it's a bunch of crooked scams. Either it's being done intentionally, or everyone's just so nice and good and they don't realize what they're doing. This has got to end, and we've got to end it. So please, look at the sheet, contact us, join us, participate. Let's have a real democracy where we pick the people. And when two people run for office, it's two persons that have been picked by people, not by lobbyists or special interests, but by us. So we pick between two people that might be good instead of two people that we know aren't going to be any good because they're both crooks, or they're being set up by crooks, or what's happening isn't right, it's not honest, and it's not good. This is Richard Hobbs, Poor for Trump. Look at our videos and YouTubes and contact us and join us. We love you. Goodbye.